Hello, my fellow foam flinging enthusiasts. It's Andrew, aka Dart Sweep, and welcome to another episode of the Foam Zone. We are back. We've been busy doing the con, but we are back at our regular location for this week. So we'll be here for our next couple of weeks before we got to take off. So nice little calm here. But if this is your very first time joining us here on the Foam Zone is a bi-weekly live streaming show exclusively on the World Foam Alliance YouTube channel every other Wednesday, coinciding with Get Off My Lawn with Captain Xavier and Al the Geek, alternating in between every other week. So stay tuned for that next episode coming up next week. But yeah, if you have not done so already, please give us a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. Also, if you have not done so, please visit the worldfoamalliance.org website and register yourself and your club and get connected and get people to come out to your events and whatever you have going on. It's we're just trying to build a platform where we can connect with each other and fling foam. People may not be aware that they're clubs that are relatively close to them. So having a resource where you can go and find out where you can actually go play is the whole goal of the World Foam Alliance, along with other things such as providing resources for clubs and connecting and charity drives and things like that. So definitely check it out if you have not done so already. But some exciting stuff. It's been a busy few weeks, I guess. I think recently we had Armageddon and CTF that took place out on the West Coast, so that was exciting. Also, End War happened over the past couple weeks. So if you were able to make it out to any of those events, I am dying and begging you to please share your experience, your photos, your videos. I want to see some content. I want to see what I missed out on. I know I had some FOMO with End War and Armageddon and CFT, one of those. So I would love to see what you guys had a chance to experience. So if you had a chance to go out there and you're in the chat, go ahead and let us know how it was and what you thought. I know it was hot. It's still hot here. Also, I am curious how hot it's been for everyone else. It's been over 100 degrees here in the Washington, D.C., DMV area. And I think today's finally the last day of the heat wave. But I'm curious if anyone else has been sweating it out like we have here. I know Arizona topped out pretty hot top temperatures. And I'm assuming Texas is always hot and Cali is hot, but at least it's dry. But man, and of course, UNCC with End War, I'm sure was a hot one too. So I'm just very curious how these past 2 weeks have been with foam flinging. So if you have anything you like to say, just drop that down in the chat description. A couple events that are coming up. I know that Ragnarok was announced for the second weekend of October, I believe. So if you go to their Discord group or online somewhere, I believe that information should be available, which is exciting. Super excited to see what Rag has in store for this year. Her last year was fantastic, and I know BTA, King of the Hill comp, is going to be even better than it was last year, especially since I think we're at this point where comp is really kind of evolving between Maryland Foam Tournament, CTF, and BTA. And of course, our guests tonight, TNT Events and the Una Group. So we'll be having them on shortly, and that's why we're here tonight, because Apoc is coming up. Apoc and Bpoc, which is the first weekend of August. It is in Manchester, New Jersey at Cousins Paintball Field, I believe on the 3rd, Saturday the 3rd of August. Arrive early, 10:30, 9:30. You can buy your tickets online, but we'll get into all of that once we have Zelkos and Jed to give us the info on that. And also, of course, Bpoc, the #1 casual tournament in existence ever, will be following up the very day, next day after Apoc up in Clifton, New Jersey at the Sports Domain Academy. So if you are feeling competitive and you still have some energy after Apoc, highly recommend you come join some casual, but which ends up not being so casual and very competitive. Some very fun comp play for Bpoc. So, but yeah, so also a lot of exciting news. I know the Striker and the Venom were not only announced because I think Captain Xavier and myself were announced it a couple of weekends ago at the Fan Expo Con. So those are out. Curious if anyone was able to pick those up. And I saw Xbox Games did some modifications already for the Striker 2.0, which looks great. I know I just saw a dual stage trigger mod for the Venom. So if the grip rev isn't your jam, you have an option now. So it sounds pretty appealing. For $50 to have a sidearm that does that is pretty exciting. I am still on the hunt for it in Maryland. I have not seen that, but I did find the Max Striker, and this is a toy. Woo! And you didn't see that. So so the Max Striker is out. I found that in Target. Not only that, yesterday I just so happened to find the Torrent. Woo! It's a toy. And then ordered online the Sender. Woo! It's a toy. From did I get from Walmart? Walmart. Yeah, I ordered it yesterday, and I ended up getting it today. So very fast delivery. So if you're interested in getting that, they are available. I don't know if that was early release or what happened there, but all those fun blasters are currently available. So we're getting spoiled. It's a lot of fun. I'm excited. I have not had a chance to actually play test them on the field yet. I have an event this weekend that I'm looking forward to getting a chance to try them out. I'll get some footage, and at this rate, I'll make a highlight video probably at the end of next year. So there you go. What else also? I wanted to show you my gin, but I was told not to show that just in case we get flagged by any chance. But if you want to see that, I have some photos up online. Thank you, Alan. I know there's a new nano board that is being sent out to me as well. So super excited for that. And then also, I picked up this is a toy. Yes, the 2.0 Nightingale, the orange version from Out of Darts. So I'm super excited to try all these new blasters out. I've been away at these cons, so I haven't had a chance to really play, and now I do. So I'm super excited, and I will let you know what happens. But I can guarantee it's probably gonna result in me getting tagged a lot because I have not played in a while. So, but yeah, so if you have had a chance to pick up any new blasters or Striker or any of the Nerf Pro blasters, go ahead and let us know on the chat and give us your first impressions. I will like to reserve my judgment until I actually get a chance to actually build it and play with it. But I do have a couple of constructive criticisms and comments and things like that. So, but overall, really fun. Definitely worth checking out. Super exciting. So let's see. I just want to check the chat and see what we got going on. Oh, Josh is in there. What's up, Josh? How are you? I know General Strife is in the chat. Good to see you. Wax on, good to see you. Captain Shotgun, great to see you. Steven Shoots, I think that's Shelton down in the Virginia area. Thirsty for Foam, Pac-Man in the house. So what's up, everyone? Good to see you guys. So yeah, let's bring our guests. Now I can't remember when we first started this about a year ago at this time. I remember we did a live stream show for Apoc and Bpoc. Was that you two guys last year as well? Or who was that?
It was just me for Bpoc because it was brand new, and you kind of low-key made me do it.
Gotcha. That's fair. Okay. Well, without further ado, it's been a year then. I guess it's been that time. It's been that long. We've been on the air for a year. Yay, we did it. Happy birthday. I would like to introduce our guests for this evening. One of them who has been a past guest on the Foam Zone. And were you also on Get Off My Lawn at some point? I can't
I've
remember.
called in a few times. I don't think I've
Okay,
actually,
yeah.
yeah.
But you were one of our first guests. So
Correct.
welcome back. We have Jason Zelkos from Team Nebula and the Uno and TNT crowd, and one of the owner partners of TNT events up in the Jersey area. So welcome back. And we have our very, very good friend, Jed Rogue Contra from the Uno crowd and also TNT events. And we'll kind of get into how that all evolved, and you can explain yourself because that is very confusing for some people, but we'll explain it. So.
But
welcome, guys. Yeah, so super excited to have you guys. And yeah, it's fitting that we are here a year later doing another episode on Apoc and Bpoc. Now, Bpoc last year, that was the first time you did that. So this is Bpoc part 2, I guess,
Part
essentially,
two,
right?
yeah. We haven't started the trilogy yet, but we're looking for the rights.
I like that.
We're trying to start selling the rights to it, so we'll see what happens.
Nice.
But yeah, this is the second one, which has become just I attached it to Apoc without asking, and they were. But when I told them the name of it, they were kind of the Uno crowd, the admins of that were pretty
Right.
the council is like it's called.
We can go over the story of how Bpoc was forced upon you by someone we may know. But first of all, Zelkos, I know you were out in California this past weekend or the weekend before doing the Armageddon and CTF Kale's Flag Dash tournament over on the West Coast, right?
Oh yeah, I forgot there was pictures. No, yeah, I was out there with the doing Armageddon and CFT. So CFT. So the California Foam Soft Tournament, I believe, is the official.
For some reason, I thought it was Kale's Foam Tournament or something. I just thought Kale put his name onto it.
It might as well have been.
It might as well have been.
Probably would have been fine with it, but no, it was great. For a first round, for a first time tournament run, it was run very smoothly. And unofficially, I want to say 99% of it was all Kale in the sense of getting it organized and everything like that. But obviously, the people that were there that were helping out, it was also were great. And we also had about, I think it was 6 or it was 7 or 8 teams. It's all a blur at this point.
It always is.
And what happened was kind of I was a last minute sub in for Archer Sam for the Magic Space Whales, which was composed of Magic Smoke, Nebula, and Orca Company. And Sam had a job opportunity that she conflicting schedules wasn't able to do it, so my schedule had just come up free, so we kind of just traded for the day. And but she was with us. We had her jersey there, and we took as many pictures as we possibly could. So it was a great time all around. Run very smoothly. There was really no major issues. And same growing pains that we've all had running our first tournament, but he definitely took a lot of the things that he's seen from other tournaments and implemented them and essentially just did it right.
Yeah. No, I mean, from what I saw from the photos and kind of the, I think Tahova took some gameplay footage that I've seen. I mean, it looked like a fantastically run tournament. I mean, aesthetically, it looked like a beautiful playing field outdoors. It looked like it was a nice day. I don't know. Is that the field they normally play at outdoors? The SDNC, is that the field they normally play on with the inflatables?
So SDNC has a couple of places that they play. They're the major one that everyone sees in videos is they call it the Church, which is actually in San Diego. And then they also have the another paintball field. I forget what it's called offhand, and Eli's probably going to kill me. But that's another part that they play. But they recently started about last year. They started getting access to this specific playing field, and they were able to. Oh, Jungle Island is the name of it. Thank you, Ronan. So they just got this playing field, and they expanded upon it and made it their own. So they don't necessarily play it all the time, because in the beginning, since it's outdoors, and I know during the winter season it actually does rain in California a little bit, so they got rained out a couple times. But when they do tournaments or practice or things like that, that's where they go. Moving, we then the second day obviously was Armageddon, which was the essentially the first major online community event. And so basically last year I had actually went to a 2019 Armageddon, and that was like my first big war. And then obviously after the pandemic we wasn't able, it didn't happen for a few years. And then Jason, also Basic Nerve, had returned from his hiatus, we'll call it, because it's no longer retirement, and decided to bring back Armageddon. And so now this year, and he brought it back last year, and now they combined the two, and so now it's like a CFT Armageddon weekend, and both were basically really good events, really fun events. It's in Armageddon is done on a school, which we have like pretty much. If you've ever been to Apoc, it's a lot smaller than the paintball fields, which adds to a lot of forced engagement. So
I like that.
Yeah,
less running for me, less cardio.
Yeah, and it was definitely really fun. Jesse from Magic Smoke could tell you how much fun we had, especially with our very tuned blasters. So it was definitely, if you haven't gone, I would definitely recommend going. And the California sunshine doesn't make it bad either. You're actually you're very close to the beach, so if you want to make a nice little vacation out of it, I actually stayed back for another day and hung out in Long Beach for a little bit. So it's definitely a good area to be in if you wanted to make a little vacation out of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I used to live out in the Woodland Hills area in LA, and definitely the weather is definitely definitely go there for the weather at the very least, and then go to Santa Monica and Malibu and call it a day. Thank me later. 100%. But congratulations. I guess first of all, congratulations to Beef Squad for their repeat win at FPT this year at End War. I think I heard that they clawed their way back from the bottom of the first elimination all the way up to the finals, and they played Team Frumble, I think 3 or 4 times, and Frumble just can't get out of that second place. It's going to happen for them. It's going to happen for them eventually, but it was almost a repeat of last year's rankings, I think, for FPT. But it looked like that was a great time. The photos looked great. I'm looking to see the gameplay footage from that. But yeah, congratulations to Beef Squad, and then congratulations to Team Nebula, who won. Was it?
Yeah, so Nebula won, which was a very big win for them. So we've always Nebula has always placed second or third. So this was their first tournament championship, and it couldn't have happened. They wanted it. They wanted it bad, and when they beat us, it was bittersweet, but they definitely earned it and deserved it. So it was really happy to lose to my team, if that makes sense. And Bray and Eli were co-captaining, and they pulled off this amazing play against us at the last second, and they totally got us, not gonna lie. They got us good, and they deserved it 100%.
Awesome. And I was very happy to hear there was very little disputes that went on for the tournament.
Yeah, definitely a little. There was I don't think there was any official disputes, but I mean, who's going to complain in the sunshine? Like that's what they're
That's right.
like.
That's right. Well, very cool. Let's bring on Jed because Jed's been patiently waiting in his very fancy, chic apartment there. Uh, I want to
New
know how
York
much you
studios,
pay.
bro.
That's right. I want to know how much you pay rent for that.
We don't gotta talk
Jed.
about that.
So, Jed, for some reason, I just thought we had you on. We had you on here before, but I guess since this is your first time here, let's get to know Jed a little bit. Jed, why don't you go introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about yourself?
Of course, of course. It's good to be first time on the foam zone and everything like that. It's a good welcome. And one thing, can I get a year from my boys on the East Coast?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm Jed. Most of you know me by my call sign, Rogue Contra. Been in this hobby since I'd say 2017. Kind of consider that relatively still new. But as you know, I'm based in New York City, where I started my local club, NYCNO. That was ran by our amazing president Ness. Kept that ship running all the way through. Um, I have a background in community and event organizing, so naturally I ended up being more invested in this hobby as a player and an organizer. So I understand both sides of the coin, the goods and the bads. And with Jason as well, I've competed in so many competitive events since FPT 2019. And since those beginnings, I've become the vice president of our amazing club Uno and the other T in TNT events, where we host and foster all things competitive for the East Coast with Jason and Gotham.
Very nice, very nice. I did want to shout out the super chats. I'm so sorry, I didn't realize we had that going. Thank you so much. Yay for super chats. Basic Nerf wants to thank Zelkos. Thank you so much for your team for coming out to Armageddon 2024. It was great meeting you. And then we have a bunch of super chats from the Uno crowd. It looks like with a year. So thank you for that, guys. I'll be honest. I think that's the most super chats we've gotten is the year. So if we can make that a thing and that helps with the super chat. Let's do that. Oh, I also did want to thank everyone. I meant to mention this earlier, but I want to thank everyone that has subscribed to my Dart Sweep channel. I realized I was about 5 subscribers away from hitting like 1K like a few days ago, and I just kind of made a quick post of saying if anyone could subscribe, I'd appreciate it. And a bunch of people ended up getting me over the threshold. So thank you specifically to Bots and Boom. They were on the stream doing a live stream on Bots' channel, and I think they mentioned it right then and there. So that definitely helped, and everyone else that subscribed, thank you so much for getting me over the 1K subscribe. I really don't care about views or subs, but it is pretty cool to have that. So thank you so much. I can die a happy person, man. I can die a happy person now. So.
No, we still need you. We still need you, Darcy.
So Jed, tell us how did you get into foam flinging in general, and what do you love about it, and what's kept you in this hobby? I met you back in 2020, I think,
Yes,
2021. 2021 is when I first met you, So tell us how you got into foam flinging and, what you love about it.
Oh man, I got into foam flinging because I bonded with a dear friend and coworker of mine, and over like airsoft and paintball and stuff, and we are like thinking like, damn, we can't even afford to play this stuff, you know what I mean? And then one day he just said like, yo, do you like Nerf? And I'm like, heck yeah, I like Nerf. Like, what's up? And then we attended an NYCNO. Oddly enough, it's technically around Nessa's birthday, so it's a lot of like beginnings there and everything. So it's cool. And since then, like we've grown it from we've grown NYCNO from a small little play field in the back of the Met to Uno, where it is now, hosting at a private airsoft field, having our own like East Coast kind of like cataclysm, like similar to like Apoc and everything like that, and Armageddon and everything like that. It's been quite a journey, and like from being a player to becoming an organizer to understanding the ins and outs of this hobby and meeting all you amazing people, it feels like ages, guys, since we first met. Like
It really does.
ages. Like we've grown. And like what I love about this hobby is the people, the players, all of you guys, all the memories and everything like that I've made through this hobby, the friends. It's what keeps me going, what keeps me energetic and hyped, keeps me yurring in the streets with you guys, you know. But yeah, like just fostering new players, teach them about competitive as well, very big into competitive as you know. And just keeping the hobby going.
For sure, absolutely. And just out of curiosity, what blasters are you running these days? Are you a flywheeler? Are you a springer? What does Rogue Contra like to show up to the battlefield with?
Oh well, the first thing I'm running is broke because these blasters are expensive, and my current favorites. Just give my wallet a little minute right now for a second. Okay, anyways, so real quick, so like my favorite blasters to run right now is the Momentum. Love you, Eli. Miss you, bro. Can't wait to see you guys soon. The SBF, I love it too. Love you, Gavin, all the way to Singapore. Um, Great blasters, and then the SBL2. Um, Lasers, bro. Lasers and the links. I need to have run it both ways, Springer and flywheel. I'm primarily a flywheel. Trying to learn Springer, but yeah, that's what I'm running these days.
Very cool. Well, you mentioned it a little bit earlier about Uno, but tell us a little bit more about Uno. The different brand, like how it started, the different branches, and kind of where you play at, your game types. Because Uno's kind of it's kind of like the Maryland Foam Alliance, where there
Hmm.
are a bunch of clubs that have kind of come together, and they're all kind of under this umbrella of Uno. So tell us about Uno.
Oh, fun beginnings. So I came on to Uno actually started from NYCNO originally. It was originally ran by Ness and Van, and I'm not sure I'm too young in this hobby to remember all the others, so forgive me. But yeah, so I came in around like maybe early NYCNO locals, and then I my friends came through, Jose, Kelvin, Gotham, and then we formed our own little squad called Beat Squad a long time ago, and it became and that's formed this team varsity. It became kind of like a growing ecosystem of fun and competitiveness between varsity and beats, and kind of like brought more players in as that competitiveness like I guess infected more people. And pretty much like as we started like getting bigger, we needed to find more fields, and then we went to the mecca of Nerf. On our side is New Jersey, and we started playing at Echo Lake Park. And then as that crowd started growing, we started making NJNO for NJNO locals, and from there we started with Long Island, which was actually the first community we started building, or I guess took over. So like in reality, like our stories are like similar but a little different. Where like we kind of like went to each region and well each area and built up the player base, and then from those different groups, we ended up saying we should just have it under umbrella as Uno. Um, it's been a pretty awesome journey. Ness has been an amazing president and leader for our group. Rob has been a very, very, very helpful elder in terms of like giving us the rundown of what's going on in the history of Nerf. If you could ask him, I asked him like when was Apoc started. He's like, and then one of us said like 2012, and then Rob said no, as early as 2002. I'm like, you know what? I'll default to Rob if anything. And yeah, so like we grew Uno, and through Uno we started establishing other groups or trying to build up other player bases everywhere so we could have more fun and invite more players. But yeah,
Right. And just so for people that don't know, what are the different branches of Uno?
of course, yes. So our first line branch was NYCNO. Those are the guys based in New York City here where I'm at. We play in the back of the Met. That's one. We had our first technically colony, which was Long Island, which is Long Island Nerf Ops. That's two. That has its own history. But there's our bigger player base was New Jersey, NJNO. That's New Jersey Nerf Ops. That's three. Okay. And for a small spell, we had Salt Lake, SCNO, which had the coolest acronym for snow for a little bit. We got a banner somewhere in the photos. That's four. And there's one small little group. Actually, it's getting bigger now in Queens here in New York City. We put in as QNO, and it's getting pretty large there and everything.
Yeah.
Also I
Hey,
cannot forget Rob before Rob kills me, CTNO as well.
I was just
He's
gonna
established
say,
that pretty
what
well.
about
Yeah.
Connecticut?
Can't forget about Connecticut. Love you, Rob.
So very cool. So if you're in any of those areas, definitely go check those clubs out. Fantastic people, and gameplay is always fun. So definitely check out any of those Uno groups if you're in that kind of northeast area of I don't even know what you would call it.
Jed was
New York area. Yeah.
I was about to break your door down.
Oh
If you
man,
didn't mention it.
I heard him walking already, bro. It's terrifying. He plays Pokemon Go. He'll do those steps.
So and then just like Armageddon, Apoc is considered another large scale event. I think the largest one I went to was actually back in 21. It was close to 100 people there.
Yeah,
My hope and goal again for Armageddon and Apoc and all these events. It'd be great if we could get, the numbers up to over 100, close to 100 again, even like 200. If you can imagine just having a huge blaster battle with that amount of people. I remember Apoc. We'll talk about Apoc in a second, but I will say I hope you guys do it again this year. And if not, I may have to bug you guys. But that when you guys combined the 3 maps for the flag push game.
Okay.
Yeah, that was fantastic. So that is a personal request. For that, but again, that was because the numbers were there. But that is the goal, and so if you've never been to Apoc or Armageddon or anything like that, come out because those are the numbers we want. We want a lot of people to show up to these things. So, but let's talk about Apoc. So Apoc was established as a large scale event. Where was it back in the NIC days when it was still a lot of like homemade blasters and they were trying to do 300 FPS and yes, so I think it was along that lines originally. I think in playing you're seeing my video from 2021, so it's 300 FPS all day long. But you don't necessarily need a blaster that performs 300 FPS. But what is the history behind Apoc, if you know it? Because your normal games are usually capped at 250, I think, which is still extremely high. But what is the story behind Apoc, and why do we have this, and why should people come?
From what I understand, I've had long talks with Rob about this, and don't kill me again if I get some of the history wrong, my friend. But
you can go back to the B-roll. Just let it roll.
Gotcha. So just to make sure, so pretty much I was told it started early in 2002. It was pretty much it was in those ancient days like NIC. They had all the pump blasters, the pump snaps, and everything like that. That as far as I understand, I started in 2017, so I'm getting all this information as I'm learning in this hobby. And when I got in, it came in as a resurgence for flywheels and the nature, the field of the hobby was changing in terms of blaster culture. So I could mostly I'll speak more on that in terms of it. I don't want to disrespect any old heads in terms of anything, but my first Apoc I attended was I think 2018, and it was when I was running a modded Strife, and it was in a huge park with no cover, and it was rough dealing with all the new blasters popping off and everything outranging me. And I'm glad that we had moved it to a private airsoft field. So there's more of different dynamic forms of gameplay going on between flywheel and Springer and all that stuff. But yeah, to the history of Apoc, it's been running for, as far as I understand, more than 20 years. We inherited it from Nick Marvin, and I would like to say 2019. And we moved it to Cousins in
Apoc
2021.
2023 video, please.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm so sorry.
No, okay, no problem. So yeah, we got it from Nick Marvin. We co-hosted in 2019, and then we moved it to Cousins, private airsoft field, Manchester, New Jersey, in 2021, which was a good switch. It was kind of a little bit of growing pains because people were used to Apoc being free. And it's a $15 ticket. It for a private airsoft field for the whole day. It's kind of a steal at that point, you know. Um, and yeah, since then we've been working on the game types, working on the game modes, working on uh, making the field more balanced from the three different fields that you got to experience from the trenches, the village, and out there in the bunkers and everything like that. But yeah.
Right. And what type of game types are we playing out there? Just so people
Uh,
know.
oh yeah. So this is the fun part. So we have def clicks. I'm sure you guys already know. Well, we got this from our friends at Maryland, where it's an infinite life game where the goal is just to out tag the opposing side and pretty much win out with the lower tag count on your team. It's a great game for big groups. You could run as much as you want because there are no lives. Just make sure you hydrate and watch the heat. And then another game mode is our bread and butter, flag push. We love this game mode in Uno and NYC on the East Coast. It's pretty much where you take a flag in the middle of the area, middle of the gameplay, game area, and then you take it and you push it to the opposing opponent's side. It's a limited life so it's 315. Everyone will like that. And another one is attack defend. This one's more of a bullet hose kind of game mode where you just want to keep shooting and shooting and shooting. Where one team is in the defending position with limited lives, and the attacking team has infinite lives, and the goal is to pretty much the fastest time to defeat the defending team wins. And there will be other game modes that we're trying to cook up right now as we speak, so I won't spoil them just yet, but I will feature our tank. We have a tank game mode which we try to bring out every Apoc year. It's operated and built by two of our long-standing members, Tom and TJ. They run an FE shop named Nerds. I love those guys. TJ's been a young nerfer with us. He's grown up with us, and he's taller than me now.
He's a very dangerous player, also.
Untouchable, untouchable.
Yeah, when you don't see him coming, he's already there.
Yeah, he grew up with us and everything, man. But yeah,
I'm waiting for him not to be able to fit in the tank. Then, then maybe we can rest.
I'm asking Tom, can you? How long will this tank work? Like, how long will TJ fit in the tank? Well, I have to get in at some point. You know what I mean?
The one thing I like to say about that I really like about APOC is not necessarily the amount of not the modifiers per se, but the amount of modifiers that you guys have. Like that's something kind of unique to you that you guys do, which I've noticed. Like a lot of people will just have like one or maybe two kind of different classes. You guys have a lot, which is something you might want to bring up.
Oh yeah. We could jump right into that actually right now.
Yeah, you have things like a Jedi class and Scout class, right?
Yeah. So Jedi is our melee class, which is invulnerable to normal darts. Take notes, everyone. This is the fun part. So bring your buffers. Make sure they're not like they're safe. We'll check them when you bring them. But Jedi is a modified class where you're purely melee. Apoc's kind of chaotic, so you might be able to wield two different blades if you want, but we'll see. And you're impervious to normal darts, short darts, and long, but you're weak against sock bombs and megas. Okay. I also want to make a clarification. Like it is a 300 FPS game, but it's 150 FPS for modified mega blasters. No short megas, but Mega XL, megas, all the sorts of type. 150 FPS. Another modifier is Scout, one of my favorites because I love running. It's pretty much a low FPS blaster class where you pretty much you're limited by a certain amount of mags depending on the type of blast you have, which it's a single shot or a flywheel or a mag-fed Springer. You can inquire on field day. We'll give you all the information about that. But pretty much it's like it varies between game mode for Scout, where pretty much like you have infinite lives or a shorter death timer and everything. And we have Shield. I know it's a general favorite amongst the hobby. Shield is pretty much just Shield user. We have no limits on shield size, so if you want to get crazy, by all means, lug that all the way up to Cousins if you want to. But they normally use kind of like a low FPS blaster, maybe 150 cap, if anything, for shield. And we try to dabble with other classes like to fit needs. And one of them is we cooked it up at NYC on a local called the janitor, which is pretty much like a live player that's impervious to normal darts, but their job is to collect darts. They're darts. Yeah, they're darts sweeping the field as the game's going on. But once they
That's genius though. Like no
it,
joke though. Like that
beautiful.
is
That sounds
genius.
like something I would come up with, so I don't have to dart swing.
That's the
You
best
could lead the
thing. Like
squad.
yeah, that's so good. Like you should definitely like that is I didn't know about that class. That is so good.
Wait.
It's just the sucker class is all
Yeah, exactly.
It's the class that you want to do when you're tired and you don't want to load mags.
Yeah.
but
That's
like,
fair.
but wait, there's more about that class. Once you gather 10 darts, you're liable to take one of those darts or pick up an extra dart off the field and tag out a player with your dart with your reacher grabber. Everything.
Nice.
So you're
I
still
like that.
involved in the game. You're still involved in the game. Not too many janitors though. We can't have a bunch of people walking around doing nothing. But a janitor can tag out another janitor.
Nice. I think I know some players that would be good janitors.
By all means, bring them on. Bring them on. But yeah, like, but going with that, it always is appreciated for darts to get your money back, everybody. But like, we want to keep the field clean and the ecosystem like pretty much safe, if anything like that.
Yeah, right. So very cool. Well, thank you so much for that information. If people need to find out more info regarding Apoc, where can they get that?
You could check out Apoc on Facebook. We also have a Facebook event for Apoc. You could check there for further information. And also one of our admins, Ben, put out a market post for anyone doing like trades or anything like that, or buying anything for pickup. Check that out, everyone, on Facebook. We also have a Discord, on the Uno Discord. We have a thread for Apoc for more live feed information if we have any more updates or information on the ticket, if anything like that.
Yeah. And then just a couple reminders or heads up. If you are planning to attend Apoc, parking is in a parking section, and you do have to take a little hike down a trail. So bring a wagon or something that will help you transport your gear there. Also, it is in August, so it does tend to be hot. So make sure you bring plenty refreshments and snacks and chairs and shade. Bug spray. You can bring canopy tents, but also it's really cool because you got people cooking out and hanging out and playing music. It's probably me just being loud, but yeah, you have people vending and selling stuff. So yeah, it's definitely worth coming out. And if you have stuff that you want to share or sell and vend, it's a great opportunity. Even if you're not going to play, just to come and hang out. It is a great time. So if you are available the first weekend of August 3rd, please come out to Manchester, New Jersey, Cousins Paintball Field, Uno, United Nerf Ops, Apoc 2024. Hope to see you there. Yeah. And the chat has been kind of quiet here. Can we get a yeah in the chat? We'll see who's
Come
paying
on,
attention
everyone, wake
still.
up, wake up.
Guys. Come on, hurry up.
Wake up.
So let's move on to some comp talk, because I know Jangler has been patiently waiting. Didn't have enough comp the past week over at CFT Earth. Yeah, that's right. Maryland Film Tournament, California Film Tournament. But yeah, let's talk about the very next day event, which is going to be Bpoc. Bpoc is the #1 casual comp tournament event that started last year, and you guys are hosting the second one this year. But tell everyone about Bpoc and just kind of how it started, and yeah, just Bpoc in general.
Yeah, so it was really kind of funny. I'll give a little brief history.
And we can roll some of Zelkos' footage.
And so that way it kind of leads into what happened to Bpoc. So eventually, it was just right after the Foam Pro tournament. Jed and I, we really wanted to practice more. We wanted to practice more competitive events, or just competitive in general. And so I reached out to him one day and I said, hey, I'm kind of doing this thing. I have the venue. I have the resources. I just don't have the people. Do you want to do this with me? And he said 100%, I'm down. And so there was our beautiful partnership was born. And then later on, as we started getting events and we started really defining what TNT was going to be. Gotham had joined on and started doing a lot of the media for us and helping us out there, and obviously I always have to mention Josh wherever I can. Our head ref had also been a big part of TNT events since the very beginning. The first thing that he said when we were announcing like we were doing comp, he's like, "I'm not interested in comp, but I'm definitely interested in refing." I was like, "We need more of you, and I love you." So thank you for
Josh is awesome.
Yeah.
Too awesome.
So what it evolved into a few months later, we had done that was about in like November of 2022. Yeah, 2022. That started, and then it just evolved. It just got better. Every event that we had done, we had learned from our mistakes and gotten better, more efficient, things like that. And Apoc was happening, and we had reached out to some people. We were kind of interested in doing a competitive event the day after, but it was at the time it was just like at max us four rolling with it. And fortunately or unfortunately, I don't know what you want to say, someone had reached out to me and said, "Hey, are you going to do a competitive event?" And obviously this person was Darts. And I was like, "No, we're not going to do it. It's just we don't have the resources to man it," and because we wanted it to be kind of a tournament in an official capacity. And I wanted to play, and I didn't think of it, and we all wanted to play, but we didn't really think of a way to do it. And then we said, "Well, how about we just do it with no stakes, no prizes, just it's a tournament that everybody goes to. Doesn't matter if they're new, doesn't matter if they have a team, we just get it going," and that's what would happen. And that's how, I want to say, the essence of Bpoc was born, right? Like that's where it really started. So I think that was like we announced Bpoc like 2 months before it actually happened. It was like ridiculous. It was just like came out of nowhere.
Crunch time.
Yeah, and I remember asking you guys, I was like, "What should I name it? What should we name it?" And then and then I just came up. I was like, "Well, let's just call it Bpoc since it's right after Apoc." And everybody's like, "That's a great name." And we kind of went and asked. I had Jed. Jed reached out to the council and said, "Hey, is this cool if we could do this?" And they thought we were joking. I think that we were going to actually call it Bpoc. And so
yeah, I think that was name placer.
Yeah, and so when they actually named it Bpoc, they were like, "Oh, that's awesome!" So last year we had 10 teams show. Well, we had 10 teams in total. 3 of them were pickup teams. And one
That's
of them
a lot of teams for
yeah, right.
Competitive casual, bro.
Yeah.
That's right.
One of them, which I had manned, had actually never even picked up like a competitive blaster before, so it was really fun. And it was really funny was a couple of the teams did really well. Like a couple of the pickup teams did really well. More not surprising because Jed was leading one of them, but but surprising in the sense of how well that they came together.
Love you guys. Team Top Ramen.
And you were on one of them, and we kind of just like thought it was gonna be like everybody's having fun, and what's it called? And a lot of us have seen a lot of tournaments, and we've been to a lot of tournaments, and I've never seen people play harder, been goofier.
There's no money. There was no money.
Do random crazy things it was like everyone had a spring in their step. The air conditioning was running good that day. It was just a pure great situation. And now year 2, it was kind of there was some discussion of or going in at the end of it, going into year 2, there was kind of some discussion on what it's going to be. Since we have a little bit more resources, should we make it a tournament, like an official tournament? And then I remember saying something to you, Andrew. I was like, well, I want, maybe it did so well, maybe we'll make it an actual tournament next year. And you're like, well, I want to play again. And I said, and then that really got the going, like, this is what it's going to be for, like, this is what TNT events is going to keep it be at least a BPOC for as long as I'm running it. So, or I should say, as long as we're running it. But yeah, and it was really, it was the really the number one competitive like casual competitive event. Everybody came back and they said that they loved it. They had too much fun. They wanted to do it again, and now hopefully we can just do it better this time.
Yeah. So for those of you that don't know the real story is I forced them to do it because I wanted to play. It's really what it comes down to. I said I didn't get to play. I didn't get to play MFT. I didn't get to play BTA. I barely did get to come up to these scrims and practices. Bpoc, yes, I'm playing. The tournament is for me. Thank you. No, I'm joking.
I mean, it's not 100% wrong. So.
It's true.
No.
True.
But no, it is. It's like you were saying. I think we all, we kind of, the MDFA kind of helped out a little bit last year with cover and everything.
They helped out a lot. Don't.
Yeah, don't.
They helped out a lot.
We were there for moral support and like you were saying, I think everyone just kind of expected it to be this kind of casual kind of day after everyone's exhausted, kind of hang out, casual thing. But no, I got to tell you, like compared to Maryland Foam Tournament and FPT, that was the hardest I've seen people play. And it was for nothing. There was no prizes whatsoever. So
I've officially I've been calling it a meme event for the past, whatever. I really, because that's what it is. And that's how I started in my early marketing for it. I mean, even today into TNT's marketing, I like to keep it towards the meme fun side of it. The cool thing about this year versus last year is that it will be completely live streamed. Thanks to big thanks to Gotham on that one. We were able to get last year it was in the beginning it was kind of me just going up, setting up GoPros, getting as much footage as I can, and then trying to sync up the video and post it, and it was just a pain. Like it was just so difficult. And then we went to the King of the Hill tournament for Ragtoberfest. Ragnaroktoberfest, that's what it is. And Gotham kind of got the idea from that as well, and he looked at it, and we came back and he's like, hey, this looks achievable, and he learned from my mistakes, and he learned from Ragnaroktoberfest and what they did there. And for the past 6 months, we've been testing privately on the stream, and then last game we had a first inaugural stream, and we'll be streaming again this weekend as well. And then Bpoc will also be streamed. And so if you can't make it out and you still want to see some really cool competitive action, we will be there, and it will be streaming on our YouTube.
Yeah, very cool. Yeah, it's very exciting to see these tournaments and gameplay being able to live stream. Definitely, we will give credit where credit is due, but definitely that Dart Zone Foam Pro Tournament live stream, I think, was a big inspiration for doing these live streams, or at least it was for when I wanted to do our version for it, back in 2022 or whenever we did the first Maryland Foam Tournament. And then it's just been
100%.
great to see like how that evolved and what Rag did with BTA, and then I got ideas from that, and then I've been sitting in on the streams, that the private streams that you guys been doing, picking Gotham's brain. So it's just been evolving and presentation, and the World Foam Alliance did MFT this year. It was their first time doing it. So they're going to learn even more, based off of what you guys are doing and everything like that. So it's very exciting to have access and be able to watch this kind of stuff for competition, especially if you're not able to make it out to these events. And, if the players and friends are competing and things like that, or if you just want to show mom and dad that you can still move a little bit. So
yeah, Gotham definitely. Sorry about that. Gotham definitely took the live switching from you guys. So I'll give him that. There was definitely a lot of inspiration from everything.
Yeah, that's the main thing. It's very exciting to see how everyone's just kind of working off of each other, and then like literally the next tournament or the next event, you'll see like, oh man, yeah, it's definitely evolving. It's really cool to see. So, but for Bpoc, what is the game type that you guys will be playing? And I already know what it is. I'll have a follow-up question after that. But what is the game type, and tell a little bit about it, just for people that don't know.
Jed, I've been talking too much. You go for it.
Yeah, Jed. There you go. Let's get Jed back in his fancy schmancy apartment.
Oh my god! Yes, my luxurious New York studio that I can't afford. So yeah, so the game mode is Flag Dash, the Maryland staple that they've been pushing and everything like that. We love it. Correct me if I get any of these points wrong, Jason. But was it like 3 points for flag cap, 1 point per attack?
So yeah,
because I know we revised it so many times.
Yeah, we were the cause of a lot of revisions, right?
You're welcome.
It's 2 points for the flag touch, and it's 4 points for the flag capture, and it's 1 point per elimination.
So a total possible of
10 points. And and so if you the one caveat to the flag dash is that one person must be alive to get a completed flag dash. So you have to eliminate 4 active members on the field, and then be able to run across at the maximum for eliminations. But if you're really stealthy like Piggy, at some point you could just run across the line and just blow past everybody.
Piggy's just invulnerable, bro.
Yeah.
Piggy's just invulnerable. He's walked through people. He's made the flag touch insane.
Yeah, I'm a little biased. Obviously, I had a hand in the creation of Flag Dash, but the one thing that I really do like about it is the incentive to go for the flag to score. And again, that was worked in revisions and things like that. But also just the fact that you have X amount of ammo, so it allows you to play a little aggressively and have these kind of exciting plays that are you're able to achieve, and it's not necessarily a track and field game type, which is fun, in sometimes and everything like that. But I like having that added element of an extra objective of that. Also, the strategy of keeping one opposing player alive to score a successful flag push, I think really creates some good dynamic gameplay overall. So you're not just eliminating everyone and then getting all the points, or when you really kind of have to think about what you want to do, especially if you're taking it out of the round robin format and you're using it for points, or if you're playing in the round robin format. Yeah. So, but yeah, so FPS cap is going to be what? And what's the mag limit and things like that?
So it's 250 Springer, 200 electric, and it's going to be 300. Well, it's technically 600 per match. That could be split up any way possible over the 2 matches. And if it goes into a third, if you're playing a round robin, there should only be two rounds per match. If you go into a group stage, or no, I'm sorry, if you go into an elimination like a bracket or something like that, there can be a third one to stop a
tiebreaker,
to do a tiebreaker, and then at that point, whatever ammo you guys have left on you would just go and roll over into the next round, so the third round to break the tie, which had actually happened at CFT. So it was really interesting to see, because that's how Nebula actually got into the finals against Red Tide, which was some history between the two. That's the two local clubs there, or two
Teams.
local teams. That's the word I was looking for. Thank you, Jed.
I got you, bro.
And they've had a little bit of a rivalry back and forth, and it's all in good fun. But it was really happy to see them get what they were looking for so long. So, but yeah,
Love you guys.
going back to Flag Dash, it's definitely
We can run some run some B-roll footage.
yeah. So it's definitely something that you want to strategize going into. You actually want to, a good strategy on my part of it
Google Drive.
is we have some sort of like you'll have like a flag runner to run the flag to get that flag capture, and then have supporting roles with springers or flywheels at different sides of the field, and then have like what we call like a 1-2 kind of scenario. So for instance, the first person that will be closer to the flag will be your ones, and then you'll have your twos back, basically covering your ones and trying to maybe either go for the flag or stop for the flag if the flag carrier or the original flag runner hasn't gone for it, which has generally been a very good strategy for my team, most teams that have played. But as you can see in these, it just gets so crazy just going for the flag. I would say like that's the part that you see the most, where most action is people just fighting on the snake for the flag, or fighting on the snake in general, and then also going for the flag. Scoring is nothing is as fun as running across the line when you do get it, because especially since you feel like I think there was one for me where there's just a springer just taking shots at me, and I am just beelining it for the end zone. And there's one where Jed ran and he just did this beautiful slide into the across the field. So it's definitely fun. Yeah, it's definitely fun to watch in that sense. You never know exactly what's going to happen in that situation, so it's really cool.
I just quickly want to give a shout out to Joe Xbox Games is here with us. Also, Kevin is here.
Hey, Kevin.
And brother Seeger, Thomas, what's up?
Thomas.
And Wizard Build. So what's up, everyone? Question for everyone: if you had to choose one comp blaster and one comp blaster only, what blaster would it be? Go ahead and let us know down in the chat. I'm very curious to see what everyone would be fielding. But what do you guys expect, or what do you guys think, or where do you guys think comp is headed, or where do you see comp headed? What direction do you see it in the near future and long term?
Go ahead, Jed. I'll answer.
Cool. Like comp right now is currently thriving. We've all everyone here from when we started off, we were under like doing the Dart Zone Pro tournament. We know how that went, and from there it kind of started this whole resurgence of competitive for not only just our side of the coast, but also the West Coast and Singapore. I see it thriving right now. There's only one way, and it's up. I'm looking forward to maybe more circuits building soon. Maybe more traveling tournaments, and one big tournament at the end of the year that actually continues on annually. But yeah, and more and a ton of new players like hungry for competitive. Yeah.
I'm very curious. I don't know if anyone in the chat or anyone watching, if they had a chance to go up to Foam Demics, to Jade's 3-on-3. It wasn't. I think it started out as an official tournament or comp, and then it kind of evolved into a little bit more casual. But it looked like a cool setup, and I think it was an indoor airsoft playing field. And that looked legit. So I'm just curious. I didn't see anything from that, but I'm curious if there's any content or if anyone got a chance to go out to that. But yeah, I agree with you. I think it can only go up. I'd like to, me personally, I like to see some, maybe this is something we'll all get together and talk to Jang about. I know he's been talking to Jesse and Sarah and some of the other comp guys. But standardizing some of this stuff. So
Yeah.
say, hey, for tournament play, we're going to only use these darts, and obviously, hopefully, sponsored is part of that. But we'll use these darts, and maybe we'll move over to joules instead of FPS, and just really kind of start standardizing. And teams have to have these kind of jerseys, and just really start kind of even building more on where we're at now is kind of, at least where I think is the next step, is kind of coming together and start standardizing stuff. My follow-up question that I mentioned before was, do you think we're going to see any different, because this is the second year, obviously you're doing Bpoc, so you're running flag dash back, but are we going to see any other type of, casual competitive tournament game types, King of the Hill or Send Zone, Ion Rush, Speed Dart? Are we going to see any of those show up at Bpoc? And even for I know you guys kind of rotate for TNT events games, but even for that as well, what can we expect with the different game types? Because there's so many, and all of them are so good. Even Nerf Ball, I know Waffle runs something, a version of Nerf Ball out there.
Find out how to install like a hoop in SDA, and then
as much as I would love to run Nerf Ball, we have an SDA has a nice net that stops everything, so it would be a little bit difficult. So it's on my list, like of actually playing it. But regarding other game types, it really for me, I've always been agnostic about what type of game that we're able to play. It really just comes down to the limitation of the field. So right now, like, we've played Koth on the big field, which went well. It was a little short this way because it's about 115 feet wide, and for Koth you need about it's 125 but 125, but you also need some space beyond that, so that way the way the players can run past it.
Right.
I do know of a field that's in up by actually Roboman that he told me about. I was like, that's a huge field, but I haven't gone up there to check it out to see what we would be able to do with it if we actually wanted to run. But the next, I mean, one of the ones that we've been testing on the small field a lot that seems to get a lot of traction is Hot Pot, which is a SDNC.
Yep, Hot Pot.
Which is an SDNC born, but like we kind of changed it a little bit because our East Coast players definitely like to use a lot more ammo than the West Coast players. So I got to talk to Danny about it, who's the owner, who's the SDNC club president, and because we basically came up with a alternate name for it called Spicy Hot Pot, and we wanted to see if we would have our his blessing using it going forward. But that would definitely be one of the considerations. We've just never tested it on a large field, so that was kind of my hesitancy about doing it this time. I know that Jang has been has been updating the rules for capture the flag, so that's definitely a possibility that I would love to do. The more game types that we get, the happier I am, because I'm ADHD born brain, and if we keep doing the same thing over and over, I'm going to get bored. So I definitely would love and if someone comes to me with a new game type that they just completely born out of a fever dream and want to come and say, hey, Zelkos, I came up with this awesome idea and it makes sense to me and it looks really cool and I would love and can you test it out at TNT? I would definitely do that. So that's what the cool thing about running our clinics are, and our scrims, is that there's really no stakes, right? The worst that can happen is that I say to them, all right, let's switch to this or this game mode next month. We go back to it, didn't really work out, it wasn't really favored, or we get critical feedback, which would be great. But I do agree with standardizing a lot of certain things, a lot of aspects of of competitive, right? So that way we can definitely have some sort of fallback on what we're doing, with the darts. Eventually, hopefully, we get a sponsor that's willing to just provide like a set of official tournament darts that we can rely on, that just are consistent between no matter what blaster that you put it in. Because I mean, obviously, if it's not a tune blaster, that's a different story. But like, we've had so many situations with darts in the past, I want to say even few months,
Right.
that it's hard for us to even say, hey, is this competitive or not? Because you put the same dart the same dart in the same blaster that's is perfect, and it's giving you different results, and it drives me mad. It drives a
Sure.
ton of us mad.
Yeah.
Springer
But
paint.
but in general, like, hopefully in the next, I would say, I want to say within the next year or two, I would like to start seeing some sort of invitational between the teams that have actually won that have placed in one of the, what's it called, so that way placed in one of the US tournaments, that way they would say, hey, okay, come out, let's see who's the best of the best. And that would be, to me, that would be something that I would love to do. Maybe we can do, I don't know, but like, it's something that I would definitely go hard on, and it would not be something that I would half-ass if I did it. So I don't know if I can afford that right now. So because I would be calling paintball refs and things like that.
Right.
But yeah, in regards to game types, it's like, if it makes sense and it does well, I would definitely consider it for Bpoc. Probably next year. I do think we should change it up though. Flag Dash has its podium, and it's definitely up there, and it's definitely a favorite. But I
But
think
there's so many other games out there,
yeah,
and
yeah, and us being us, TNT being what it is, I just can't show favoritism.
well, that's very cool. Jed, what do you think is TNT's what's the advantage of having something like TNT around versus a regular kind of club that you normally just show up to on a Saturday in PvP? Like, what is the advantage of TNT? What separates it maybe from other clubs? What makes it unique? Why should people come?
Well, like one, it's a business entity first and foremost in terms of it, and through that you're able to like fund and like create these kind of connections with like SDA as Jason has done, um, and create structure for an environment for competitive to thrive, with and also like less hooks in the kitchen, so it's just like you could have like quicker decisions on ideas or like plans, and you could play test things a lot quicker that way. With the club, it's more of like you're more limited by logistics. It comes down to that of how much you can access, who has access to what, and what resources you have to create the environment. Because like when Jason and I got together, like I brought the people, he brought the space, and pretty much I can attest to Jason's story here, where like he spent like nights sewing to make the obstacles we play. Um, like I'm not like we worked hard for this kind of like
Yeah.
product and everything like that, and this brand to like create an environment that we wanted to play in, that we played in an FPT together, Andrew, and we didn't want to sprint every tournament, so we made more mobs. That's just what we did and everything. But yeah, the main difference is really logistics, and it really comes down to money, like where you're investing it and how you're hosting it too.
and and,
Right,
and
right.
to jump on Jed,
Go
what
for it, go
Jed's
for it.
saying, yeah, it's, when, so a lot of people have come to me about the price of our events, right? But if you speak to anybody who has actually gone to one of our events, they say it's one of the most smoothly run events that you've been to on like a casual setting, right? So our goal when we were going into TNT was to, yes, we may have a little bit, which I still disagree with as a premium price. We may have a higher price than other people, but you're definitely getting a superior product
Yep,
than
definitely.
a lot
you
of other places.
you are paying premium price for a premium product.
essentially. Yes.
High quality, sweaty, competitive games. We
That's
got
right.
you.
I did want to quickly shout out and say hello to Ri-Fi. Ri-Fi, what's up? Ri-Fi, I meant to mention this earlier at the beginning when we were doing housekeeping. But if you don't know, Dart Zone, I will be with Dart Zone at the Dart Zone booth for Fan Expo Chicago. And I believe Ri-Fi channel will be joining us there at the booth. So if you want to come by and say hi to a fellow foam flinger and a very popular tuber, definitely should come by and say hi at the Dart Zone booth. And I can neither confirm nor deny that there may be a couple of blaster debuts there at there. So if you're in the area and you want to see some cool stuff, I cannot confirm or deny, but there may be some cool stuff there. So, but anyways, yes, so definitely come check us out. But yeah, so I mean, we're almost at that time. I mean, the main reason I wanted you guys to come on here was to talk about Bpoc and TNT events, especially since we're a year later from kind of our first show. Almost,
Right?
I think I had Boom on, and then. Oh gosh, just a couple, and then you were on in November, I remember, or no?
Yeah, we'll go look at the
November.
logs. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll go look at that. Yeah,
Check the timeline.
That's right.
Check the timeline.
It happened at some point, but yeah, it's amazing how time flies, and again, I use this word probably too much, but it's just super exciting to see how things evolve, the evolution of what we're doing. You know, not only just in the hobby community scene with modding and, you know, these 3D printed blasters, injection molded blasters, great stuff coming out from Worker, Hasbro, and, you know, all these designers that are in the hobby, just really great stuff. But, you know, also the evolution of competition and, you know, where it's heading. And, you know, we joke about this all the time, but, you know, our goal is to eventually end up on ESPN The Ocho. Yeah. So, but, you know, maybe we're underselling it, and, you know, ESPN, that's where we belong, you know, so. They got cornhole on there, so
yeah,
we at some point we got right? There's this
pickleball is coming up, guys.
Pickleball, yeah.
We got to get up there.
Yeah, we definitely have space, right? You know, and then what's appealing to most people about that is it's attainable. You know, is the average person can come here and do really well at it. So that's definitely something that I think is appealing to the sport. By no means the people that are running it right now, you know, are the even I will be the first one. I'm not the most athletic person that there is, but you know, we have a lot of people that do very well.
He's a top placer, guys. I don't know if most athletic, but all right.
I mean, that's why I like to compete, because I can just sit in the back and just play goalie, and and then get taken out. And then the game's over. But yeah, so very exciting. I appreciate you guys coming on. Where can people find information? Again, I know you mentioned Apoc, but where can people find information about Apoc and Bpoc and TNT events? Either one.
So yeah, go ahead, Jed. Since you take Apoc, okay. I'll take Bpoc.
Okay, so I'll repeat again if anything. For any information regarding Apoc, we have a event page on Facebook. You can check there for any updates. There's also a marketplace post that our admin Ben Lam had set up for y'all, so you could buy, trade, sell before get those deals done before ready for by Apoc. And we have the Uno Discord as well. You're welcome to join us. Just give us the needed info and everything. We'll let you in. And there's an Apoc thread that you could get all the information you need live, and discussions too. Get on discussions to make new friends and everything. You're welcome.
And so yeah, and for Bpoc, you can find more information at our website, which is TNT Events. But it's TNT EVNTS without the second E, because the other one was the domain was already taken, so I wasn't able to do it. You can check us out on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. We have a link tree that brings all of that information. And if you would like to just purchase tickets from the website, that's where you'll be able to do that. It's going to start at registration for that will start at 10:30 a.m. and then we'll promptly be starting at games at 12. And we will be live streaming on YouTube that day. And I'll be posting the link for that relatively soon to all the social media and channels that so that way you will be able to find that as well.
I did want to just read this comment. I'm assuming it's got them running the Uno channel. But when I asked you why should people come to TNT, this is a great comment. TNT gives you consistency and development, and I think that's a perfect. I think that is a perfect reason why people should come check out TNT events, scrimmages and captains clinics and just events in general. But not only that, come out to Bpoc. Come out to Bpoc.
to Gotham's point, I am very, very adamant about once we schedule something, we do not cancel it. So
it's happening, folks.
And then, of course, Apoc, these events, all these large scale events, I think, they're not contingent on attendance numbers per se, but come on, guys, let's get together.
Let's the biggest one yet.
Let's do it. Let's take every advantage. If you have a free weekend, you have the resources to make it out. Not even to Apoc or Bpoc, but RAG or ABC's Atlanta Blasters Club. They're having their fundraising event second weekend of August. Let's make these events big. If you have a chance to make it to these events, let's do it. Let's show up. Where else are you going to get a chance to get together to have these large scale events and meet people like Zelkos and Jed and all these fine people that you see on the interweb. The hobby needs you. That's right. So, and then if anyone has any questions, do you guys have personal handles or anything like that where they can find you specifically?
I am on Facebook. I have a Facebook that I that's Zelkos, but most of the time you can just find me at on Instagram, Tori.Jason, my real name. I message everybody I can. Also, I wanted to mention that I piggyback off of the Uno Discord. So if you are interested in hanging out with and talking about competitive events, that's where majority of our TNT stuff is talked about. So I would just go there. And I am Zelkos on Discord as well. Or you can just message me on my personal Facebook, which is Jason Torrey as well. If you guys want to hang out and talk to me, ask questions about how events are run or about coming to an event, I'd be more than happy. I've always been more than happy to help people out. And if you don't have a team or anything like that and you're really thinking about coming to an event and that's the only thing that's stopping you, just come, let me know. I'll help you out and we'll help you out. And our admin team will make sure that you have, an awesome time learning how to play the competitive landscapes.
And Jed, what about you, buddy?
I too am also on Facebook. I also have an Instagram. It's an old name, I think JT Vagabond 92. Don't judge me. Don't judge me.
I remember that.
Yeah. You can also catch me on the Uno Discord. I'm also handle Rogue Contra, and I too am also available if you need to reach out if you have any questions. I'm also trying to get into virtual coaching.
That's what I was gonna say. He does
as well.
Personal coaching. This is for fun.
Yeah, I do it for fun. I got you with the Nerf therapy. Don't worry, bro.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm gonna start that soon to build more of a coaching ecosystem, get people more invested into looking at the game in a different way. But yeah, reach out to me and we'll talk.
Very cool, guys. Well, always a pleasure. I feel like we've been on this journey together.
Definitely.
Very excited to have you guys. I recommend everyone. I'm not recommending. I'm telling everyone. Please just come to Apoc and Bpoc and thank us later. Awesome.
You're welcome.
So just want to say thank you, everyone that tuned in this evening. Next Wednesday will be another episode of Get Off My Lawn with none other than Captain Xavier and Al the Geek. I'm not sure who their guest is going to be, but I do know that in August we have someone that will be very exciting, but we'll give you more information on that, so stay tuned for that. But friendly reminder, if you haven't done so already, go ahead, hit that like, subscribe, and visit us at the worldfoamalliance.org website. Register yourself or your team and get foam flinging with people in your area. As Al likes to say, we're not here to take your money. We just want to connect people together. So let's foam fling foam. Let's fling foam together. There we go. Awesome. So this has been great. Appreciate you guys tuning in, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. I believe my next guest is going to be, oh no, that's what it was. Next week. I'm so sorry.
You got this, bro.
My next guest is going to be Beth and Josh from the Atlanta Blaster Club on the 31st, Wednesday the 31st. However, I will not be here. I have an engagement to go to. We'll have a sub, but we will have Beth and Bethany and Josh from ABC to talk about their event coming up in August. So tune in 2 weeks from this Wednesday, or from today, for that. Otherwise, tune in next week for Get Out by Lawn, and we'll see you soon. So appreciate you guys. Stay good, stay cool, and don't forget to dart sweet. Peace.